morning, Sharks. My name is Casey and I'm 28 years old. Currently, I'm pursuing my master's in business administration and have a strong background in sales and marketing. Presently, I'm working for Australia Post in the administration department. Prior to that, I was working with renowned conglomerates such as Nike and GE Capital. The issue that I want to bring forward today is quite persistent within one of the organization's corporate culture that I worked for. The objective of my pitch is to address this issue with you guys and to offer a solution that can tackle this concern. In addition, my solution will not only aid the organizations, but also the potential investors that are willing to fund my project. Multinational corporations such as that of Nike are globally synonymous for their superior quality of products that they offer to the vast array of customers. Now, one would expect such an organization also to have a corporate culture that is of par excellence. Although as a former employee, I can certainly state that the practices followed within the organization are demeaning, appalling, and to a great extent shameful. A recent article has nicely articulated the fact that behind closed doors, there is enormous friction between the Nike's brand image and its corporate culture due to the significant toxicity present. Discrimination at the workplace in the form of gender and racial disparity is a toxic element that is gradually tarnishing Nike's business brand image and hurting the company's bottom line. I have personally endured several discriminatory practices as a former employee, and I've also witnessed my peers withstand horrendous demeaning practices. For instance, objectification of my female colleagues by superiors was a norm at Nike. For instance, managers emailing female employees and discussing fluidly about another woman's private body parts can certainly be perceived as quite disgusting and discreditable behavior. In addition to the sexual harassment that is borne by female employees at Nike, they are also subjected to the glass ceiling effect, a notion where the culture within the organization places barriers for women to progress within the business. On the other hand, personally, I experienced favoritism at Nike, wherein preferential treatment was given to other employees based on their skin color. Therefore, such events had a severe impact on my job involvement and job satisfaction notion, which along with other negative factors led to my resignation from the organization. Now, from an individual and employee perspective, addressing the issue of discrimination and eradicating the concept of disparity from the organization is significantly crucial. Experiencing discriminatory practices can severely affect the mental and physical well-being of an individual. Furthermore, an individual that is witness to such practices can also be impacted by negative psychological conditions. Now, Sharks, you must be wondering what these conditions are. So basically, unwarranted stress, anxiety, fear, aggression, acute traumatic depression, and suicidal thoughts are some of the elements that develop within an individual due to ongoing discriminatory practices. Now, statistics depict that about 92% of employees within the Australian workforce perceive mental health as a very important facet when working for an organization. Although only 52% state that the workplace is mentally healthy. Evidence from the research also exemplifies that discrimination at workplace can amplify an employee's depressive symptoms and weaken their mental health. From an organizational standpoint, not diminishing discriminatory practices from a company's corporate culture can also have negative consequences and repercussions. To further elaborate, the financial and legal costs are enormous when such practices are prolonged. For instance, Sharks, recently Nike lost a class action lawsuit that was filed by its former female employees, resulting in humongous financial repercussion. And we are talking about millions here. Secondly, an organization that fails to address such fundamental human issues can jeopardize their sustained competitive advantage in the marketplace due to it being perceived as unethical by its stakeholders and consumers. This is the last thing that Nike wants to do because they are a globally superior and renowned brand. Now, employee productivity is also hugely negatively affected, eventuating to drastic slash in profitability. Because as you know, when the productivity of an employee diminishes, the profitability of an organization also diminishes because employees are the critical assets of an organization. Sharks, as an aspiring entrepreneur myself, I strongly believe a solution to address the problem of discrimination at workplace is very crucial. Doing so would benefit the individuals that is affected, people like me and also people like others that have suffered from such practices, and also the organization in question. and lastly, the society as a whole, to make the society a better place again. I strongly believe funding a project that is aiding the industrialized society battle discriminatory practices can be seen as a safe bet on both the moral and financial grounds. Now, Sharks, to battle these discriminatory practices that we have just discussed that occur within organizations and to offer a form of assistance to the victimized employees, I bring forward to you the concept of e-mentoring. An e-mentoring program that can be implemented within businesses. Before I state the unique proposition of my CV19 e-mentoring program, I would like to state what e-mentoring is and the benefits that can be attained by such programs for both the organization and its employees. Basically, e-mentoring is the same as a traditional mentoring program, although it utilizes the electronic media as compared to the face-to-face conversations. Now, Sharks, you guys must be wondering how, by just adding an E to the traditional mentoring program, would make any difference. That's a good question. And it's a good thought. Well, basically, the alphabet E, which refers to the electronic outlet in this context, adds a lot of further benefits than the traditional mentoring program. For instance, e-mentoring can be fit into the busy schedule of any employee, as they do not need to visit their mentors in person. It could be fit into your schedules as well. Now, secondly, there is an impersonality of the interaction that occurs, wherein both the mentors and the mentee do not have to reveal everything about themselves. Thirdly, e-mentoring is impartial. The electronic medium overcomes the barriers created by workplace hierarchies or the status differences that an employee has with their superiors. Now, meeting the demands of the mentees are also quite easy, as mentors are only one click away. They can attain access to their mentors via emails or other electronic communication mechanisms such as Skype, WebEx, Link. In our case, we are dealing with a sensitive human issue such as discrimination at workplace. With the use of e-mentoring, mentors can reach out to the individuals without stigmatizing them, which is one of the biggest benefits of an e-mentoring program in our case, because we are dealing with people that have endured very demeaning practices such as discrimination. Now the question remains, Shark, how can e-mentoring help diminish discriminatory practices within organizations, and how it can support and assist and offer a form of assistance to the victimized employees that have suffered and endured these practices? The answer is quite simple and straightforward. Mentoring of any form helps an individual in developing their self-confidence and self-esteem. Now, these two attributes are fundamental in the recovery of a person that has been victimized due to discriminatory practices. Research has been conducted that shows how promising a strategy mentoring is when it comes to boosting self-esteem. Now, other research conducted on the same matter or same topic also depict that mentoring individuals or employees improves their self-ability, self-determination, self-advocacy, and social skills. As previously mentioned, discriminatory practices were mainly endured by individuals that came from a different cultural, ethnical background, or if they were females. Take me for example. I strongly believe I was targeted at my workplace due to my Indian heritage. Now, with the aid of e-mentoring, individuals like myself can conceal my personal characteristics and build a trustful and sincere relationship over the electronic platform. And this element is crucial. The reason being, any discriminated employee would shy away or feel uncomfortable in sharing their experiences to a person from the same organization. Now, the impact of stereotyping is also drastically reduced, provided the interaction on the online platform is faceless, which also creates a comfort for the victimized employees, as there is no predisposition. Research also demonstrates that disadvantaged employees at workplace might be treated poorly in the face-to-face mentoring sessions, which can be mitigated if an organization opts for an e-mentoring program. How does my e-mentoring program differ from any other mentoring programs that could be available within organizations? The unique selling proposition of my program is that the mentors would be industrial experts that do not belong to the same organization that the victimized employees belong to. This would result in the victimized employees sharing their experiences more freely to the mentors without having the fear of being judged. In addition, due to the restrictions that have been placed by governments all around the world in order to minimize the transmission of coronavirus, an enormous percentage of the workforce is working from home, thus resulting in a huge potential market for my e-mentoring program. As individuals can access support from mentors just by being at their home, mental support is very crucial during times of isolation, which can be accessed by using my e-mentoring program. Sharks, my offer to you is a 50% of revenue that I attain through the sale of my e-mentoring programs to organizations. Although in return, I would want you to assemble a team of credentialed industry experts that would be willing to be mentors for my e-mentoring program. My fundamental aim with this pitch is not to attain funds for my project, but rather to get the contacts, to gain access to the credentialed industry experts that all of you sharks know. So as all of you sharks are very well networked within the market, I'm hoping to gain contacts from you that are knowledgeable and experienced so that together we can help support the victimized employees and bring a change that we desperately need in organizations all around the world.